Inkbos, what's up? Final here. Today, Final Fantasy Talk, and today we're going to talk about some more Final Fantasy 15, and today we got a little bit of an update on Final Fantasy 15. Now, as you know, Square Enix likes to get abused by people asking questions or whatever. So many people are asking about Final Fantasy 15. So many people asking about a 7 remake, all this stuff, and you know, Square Enix has to say something at some point. So, Final Fantasy 15, they gave us a little update, and there's a little screenshot that they showed us as well. So, the screenshot looks awesome, by the way. It looks really, really nice, but, what Square Enix said is that it is confirmed that there is going to be an official release date for Final Fantasy 15 this year. Not saying it's coming out this year, but this year they will talk about a release date for Final Fantasy 15. Now, everything else that a publisher said from Square Enix said that they're going to be very silent on this game. They're not going to say anything about the game, they're not going to give out much news about the game, and they're not going to show many trailers of the game. And I think that's a good thing, because I don't want it to be like Final Fantasy 13 Light Returns. I have over 120 news videos on Final Fantasy 13 Light Returns, and that's because Square Enix gave out so much news about Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns. It kind of spoiled it for me, honestly. It kind of not saying that like it told the ending or whatever, but it kind of spoiled it for me just a little bit. So I can see why they're doing this, because honestly, I don't want them to talk about much of the story and everything. I would like to see more gameplay, that's for sure, but I don't want them to talk about the story too much, and I don't want them to talk about the characters too much. But that's my own personal opinion anyway. So basically, they are not going to talk about Final Fantasy 15. They're not going to reveal anything for Final Fantasy 15 in the next couple months. So basically 2 months, maybe 3 months, few months, whatever, but not right now. Not right now. That's basically what they're saying. So basically, they're not giving up on this game. They're not. They're they're working on it right now. They are, and they're not going to give up on this game, because you know it's been 8 years now. So many people want this game, and honestly, I think Final Fantasy 15 will blow up the Final Fantasy community again. I will keep saying this over and over and over again. Final Fantasy 15 will blow up the Final Fantasy community, because yesterday, what we found out, if you didn't watch my video yesterday, Final Fantasy 13 Light Returns, as we all know, it was the most lowest selling Final Fantasy game in the first week of all history. And then Final Fantasy X HD came out, and then it outright Final Fantasy 13 Light Returns in the first week of sales. So you just know, you can just tell, if you're going to do sequels, let it take a while for the fans to get notice on the game. You know, they kind of rushed Final Fantasy 13. They kind of did rush that series, because they didn't give the fans enough time to say, okay, this was an amazing game. You know, like, so many people diss Final Fantasy 13. They did. So many people diss Final Fantasy 13. I dissed Final Fantasy 13 when it first came out. I will admit that I first dissed Final Fantasy 13 5 years ago when it first came out. I played it, I was like, okay, what is this crap? Okay, you know, I was like that. And then 6 months later, I started playing the game again, and I liked it. I gave it another chance, and I liked it. But did I think it was sequel worthy? No, I don't think it deserved a sequel, because the story of Final Fantasy 13 just did not make sense to make another sequel. It really did not. So if they're going to do another sequel for Final Fantasy 15, all I gotta say is maybe don't make multiple sequels, and make the story making sense to make a sequel. You know, like Final Fantasy 13, the only hint that they gave for Final Fantasy 13 to make a sequel, spoiler alert if you haven't played Final Fantasy 13, But the only hint was Fanil and Fang in the crystal, and that's it. That was all sequel hinting, but that wasn't a lot. So anyway, Kabos, you let me know in the comments below what you think about this. Do you think Final Fantasy 15 should take its time to polish it or whatever? I think it should take its time to polish the game, make it perfect and everything, and just blow up the Final Fantasy community like it was 7 years ago. So, or do you just want it now? You just want it now. Do you want them to rush this and you just want the game now? Or do you just want them to take their time with it? I know it's been 8 years and whatever, but if they take more of their time with it and working on this game, it's going to be even better. So, you let me know in the comments below what you think about this, Kubos, and yeah, so anyway, Kubos, hope you enjoyed. I'm Final, and I'm out. Kubo. See ya!